Join us as we talk a lot going on recently in Stadia news, as well as some recent channel changes that you're going to want to pay attention to. It's going to be some good stuff. See as Stadia talk, channel changes, Stadia news, and more. It's an SDO Daily mini podcast. Let's get into it. What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K of the SDO Daily Pod platform or show today. You know, definitely check us out. But I'm also here on behalf of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage. All right. And let me rephrase that. Let's let the coffee kick in. This is SDO Daily Pod, as we like to call it. Just one of the few changes that you're going to start seeing around here as far as the content that's being brought. A lot of good stuff happening. But with that said, can you do us a huge favor? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when we're dropping these doses. We appreciate all of y'all. Straight up, y'all know the deal, y'all know the reason, and by now, y'all should know the slogan. What is it? We are not too proud to ask. Okay. So here's what I want to do. All right. I want to talk a little bit about why some changes are going to be made. And what I want to do is also talk about some news that is going to happen. And I want to give it to you guys in a quick spurt because I'm not out of the woods yet as far as having all my time together. But before we do that, you know, we're trying to be crispy and clean with the prologues and stuff like that. So I'm keeping up with everything. So let's do this. We officially have hit our prologue. And what I want to do is I want to talk about something that's going on that a lot of people are forgetting. Well, I don't want to say a lot of people are forgetting, but a lot of people may not realize that they can take an advantage of. And that is the Winter Community Championships on Stadia. We are now going into week 4 with the previous 3 weeks of prizes already given out. Man, oh man, oh man. The week 3 challenges started. The winner takes home $50 via PayPal, and second place participation also helps you qualify for the finals with $400 in first place prizes. Here's the thing, man. Congratulations to all those that have won and have advanced to the final tournament. And I hope that you guys have taken advantage of this and at least have participated. All of those people are going to be cascaded over to the tournament. It's going to be a great thing to see. So I know John Scar, I know the homie Ninja Guy X, and I know others have been hosting different rounds and stuff like that, but pay attention to that. This is great stuff, and there's more coming from the Community Championship panel on more great prizes just for playing games, stuff that we already do. So definitely partake on this so we can congratulate whoever the winners are, and congratulations and thank you for everybody that are participating. This is great stuff for the community, all right? So there's some things in the news definitely that I wanted to touch on. And we are going to get into a lot of this stuff. And I'm not going to embellish so much my opinion. I'm going to save that for another time, but I just want to make sure that everybody's abreast of everything that's been going on because I haven't been able to talk about this stuff since I've been away. But it definitely is important stuff to footnote. But before we get there, one more thing that I want to say. I want to say thank you to everybody for your patience. As I know a lot of people come to this platform because they want to hear content from myself. And what we've also done is we've grown the platform's content all together. We want to thank everybody that has done that on the PNTS Network.com side and has done so here. Squid is doing a fantastic job with his morning show. Definitely check that out. Monday through Friday. It starts around 9 a.m. Eastern every day on this platform. Also, shout out to my homie Jack Deslip on the PNTS Network, just tearing it up over there. You know what I'm saying? Definitely go over there. And don't forget, y'all, if you leave us a Yappa comment here, let me go back. Let me show you something. let me show you something. If you leave us a Yappa comment on any of the available pages, you enter in an opportunity to win some Xbox Live codes. Again, PNTS Network, we're big on Stadia content, but we also support other platforms as well. And we got a wazoo of Xbox codes that were gifted to us. So we've given some out, and we still got a lot more to give. So definitely, if you have an Xbox platform and you want to play some of these great, they're indie codes, if you want to play some great indie games on Xbox, definitely leave us a Yappa comment. Give us your thoughts on the website, the platform, anything game related. Just leave it there, and that'll make you eligible to get one of these codes. All right. But I want to again thank everybody for your patience while I've been away, tending to my wife. She's coming back home this week, so we're gonna get regularly scheduled content again for myself, along with some changes. I'll get into those in a little bit. But I want to thank everybody so much for their participation and their patience. All right, with that said, that's it for a prologue. I think it's now time to talk about some news. All right, so there's been a lot of things happening that are Stadia related or within the Stadia stratosphere, which I really hope that in this short amount of time we do a good job in trying to show you guys why this stuff is important. First and foremost, I want to talk about this isn't, I don't want to get into doom and gloom territory, right? But something that I caught over the airwaves the other day, and it kind of concerned me, and I just didn't say anything about it. But now, I think it's time that we put this out here in the airwaves, because before I talked about it, I wanted to embellish on it because I didn't want to feed the doom and gloom conspiracy theories that are out there. But I do think that this is a missed opportunity from Stadia. What am I talking about? Well, let me show you something else. Tencent just bought 1C Entertainment and Qlock, the studio responsible for Cyberpunk 2077 for Stadia. And the story reads as follows. Tencent, Chinese gaming entertainment giant, continues to shop in the West a few days after the news of the acquisition of Inflection Games. Author of Nightingale and Chinese Giant also welcomed the Polish company 1C Entertainment to its stable, not to be confused with IC, now former Russian parent company. With an official press release, 1C Entertainment has made it known that the signing of the agreement with the Tencent dates back to the end of last November. The Chinese giant has agreed to purchase all the shares previously held by the company, which will be completely excluded within the next 6 months. 1C Entertainment and all of its subsidiaries labeled 1C will permanently change their name. Details on the rebranding will be communicated in due course. It says, buying 1C Entertainment, Tencent also secured services of its subsidiary Qlock, a Polish studio that in recent years has distinguished itself for excellent quality of its ports. Among the most recent work, we point out Dark Souls Remastered, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, Nino Kuni, The Threat of the White Witch Remastered, the conversion of Yakuza Kiwami 2 for PC, the port of Nintendo Switch of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, and also the good version by Cyberpunk 2077 for Google Stadia. Before saying goodbye, we remind you that at the end of last year, Tencent also bought Turtle Rock back for Blood and Left 4 Dead Studio. I'm not going to embellish too much on this. We're going to talk about this later. But I do think it's a missed opportunity by Stadia. There's been a lot of talk about Stadia having to buy stuff because of Microsoft, the precedent that they're setting. But if on what Microsoft is doing, I think what Google needs to do is they need to solidify their important relationships. So in my mind, either EA or Ubisoft should be on the table as far as purchase for Google altogether. I take my words back. I said this is a lost opportunity for Stadia. Stadia should not and probably cannot buy any more development studios due to them releasing all their studio developers a little over a year ago. A lot of states have rules against that, to where once you lay off employees, you can't replace those employees for X amount of time. Sometimes it's 6 months. It could be anywhere over 14 months, depending upon the state. So because of that, Stadia can't buy new developers, but Google should be able to, the parent company. And I do think it's high time that some of these support mechanisms like QLock, EA or Ubisoft, that Google makes the purchase, let them operate within themselves, continue within themselves, and Google just reap the rewards. Because there is a bidding war, there is an acquisition war going on out here, and you definitely, as an emerging platform, you don't want to be lost to the sauce. So very interesting stuff coming out from Tencent. They're buying things up at astronomical rates, and they bought QLock. And depending upon how you see this, you could look at the developer tool set and say, you know what, Stadia is doing its own support, so QLock isn't that big of a deal. Anyway, you know what I mean? But I just think it's always great to have people that have already done the work to get them to partner with them, or even absorb them if you can. We've seen that precedent work before with newer platforms that work with the people that have the experience. So, it depends. You may feel that because Google's engineers are doubling down on doing a lot of this stuff themselves, this may not be a big deal. Some of you may feel like it's a missed opportunity to take well-known and well-accomplished experience and fuse it with your own. But what do you think about it? Let us know in the comment section below. All right, we're going to the next story. The next story is, if you're looking for a game, World War Z should be coming soon. And it was announced way back in October of last year. And it's now announced that not now announced, but it was announced that it should be coming winter. The release date should be winter of 22. And if you look at what the normal time frame for winter is, it's the last few months of the previous year and the first few months of the current year, when you're talking about winter time periods when it comes to like game releases and stuff like that. Shout out to Sunny Cloud Gaming for shedding some or rehashing the light on this one. Yeah, the winter season should be over in a few weeks, so we might, in the next announcement on the blog, we might get news. There might be a same time drop of World War Z. You know what I mean? We don't know. That'd be great stuff. It's a huge game, and I would like to see it definitely come to the platform. I know a lot of people would, and I think it would do great on the Stadia platform, with that said. So be on the lookout for that one. Interesting stuff. And shout out again to Sunny Cloud Gaming for bringing that back up to our attention. The next item at hand is something that I came across about a week or so ago. And I find it funny because you get a lot of people that say Stadia sucks. Stadia is not worth it because Stadia is an all digital platform and people want to own. You know what I'm saying? People want to own their games. You know what I mean? And they feel like getting a physical copy allows you to own your game. And I couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. We've had articles all the way back from 2013 that explain this process to us. Just a lot of us are new at this. A lot of us don't have the precedent in dealing in this area, or don't have the experience, or we didn't research the precedent or the experience. So we're under this wrong assumption that you own your games. You don't own any of these games. You're granted a license, and at any given time, the license holder can revoke that. Like, they can do whatever they want with it. Now they have more control over how they revoke that license If it's a digital copy over a physical copy, yes. If you have a physical copy, you can take the game offline in many instances. But those instances are becoming less and less infrequent as even single player games are starting to get DRM. Secondly, if you look at what I got on the screen right here, this is a snippet of an Ars Technica article where they highlight that physical console games are quickly becoming a relatively niche market. Ars exclusive analysis shows discs and cartridges becoming rarer and rarer. And it reads as follows. It says, anyone watching the game industry knows that the console market is quickly shifting away from games sold on physical media and toward the digital download dominance that PC gamers have known for years. But a new exclusive analysis of NPD Game Pulse data conducted by Ars Technica shows that the extent of the decline in physical console game production, even as the number of digital console titles continues to explode. This is something that I've been saying for a very long time, and a lot of people laughed at it, but they can only look at the first 5 minutes of now. So I just want to look at this chart here. When you look at the chart, digital, you had physical that was, dwarfed by digital mainly because of mobile gaming and PC gaming altogether. But look as it just continues to slide. And you're getting more and more people that are getting into digital DRM than they are in the physical. And when you look at the fact that the PlayStation Digital is sold out everywhere where it's available, that tells you that the era of physical buying of games, they're on the decline. Big time. So the adage that, a cloud platform, is horrible because you don't own anything, it's silly talk. If anything, what cloud platforms have shown you is that with the fact that they store the game on their servers and you're not downloading anything to even with other digital platforms, you're not downloading anything to a device, the ability to hack or apply hacks to these games are a lot more challenging, if not eradicated. Hackers are, ingenious and they find a lot of ways around stuff, but when you look at the complexities that they would have to go to of having to try to hack activity on a cloud platform, it's a lot more daunting than it is something that is stored physically or digitally. Not stored, but stored physically on a hardware right there that they have access to. You know what I mean? So, cloud gaming has its many perks, definitely. You gotta have good internet. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta make sure you have good internet. But ensuring that you have that good internet, make sure that you can play in peace, you can play in convenience, and a lot of stuff. And the fact that a lot of people still want to use the talking point of there's not a physical component to Stadia in particular, that sucks. That's not the silent majority, but that is the vocal minority that's making that argument, as we can see here in exclusive studies such as this. Okay, so a very important thing that I wanted to brush upon as well. Speaking of that, the Steam Deck has been getting, I want to say, mixed reviews. I want to say it's been getting more praise than criticisms, but it's mixed. I want to say it's like 60-40, where people are positive about it. Why? Because as much as a marvel as they say this thing is, it gives them a full flash, they feel like the best platform in their hands, PC wise and all other stuff. They're looking primarily at the capabilities. Not the capability. They're looking at the what's the word I'm looking for? They're looking at the possibilities that the platform holds. But when they actually rate what the platform can do out of the box, not so much. They say it's riddled with bugs, a lot of crashes. you know, and a whole bunch of stuff. But again, when you look at the possibilities, it's great. Now, the Steam Deck has been tried. I think, I don't know who it was, but somebody tried to utilize Xcloud and Stadia on the Steam Deck, and they weren't able to do it as of yet. There's supposed to be some updates, and they'll be able to play, you know, Xcloud and Stadia on the Steam Deck later. And that's why it's become an important tool for people, because people say this is something that this is an all-encompassing device. I can play native games, I can play on the cloud. That's why I like this thing. It's not cheap, you know. The storage is limited, and it's not cheap. Definitely if you want to download native PC games and stuff like that, you know, native PC games are just getting bigger and bigger. But again, people that have a Steam Deck in their hands, they're praising the performance. Again, it's just that everything that they were hoping for out of the box isn't there. That's important to me, because I want to get you guys' opinion on this, because that sounds very familiar. People talked about how Stadia was very capable. You had some people on the periphery that tried to make it seem like Stadia didn't work, but you know, that was just buffoonery. But you have people that made it seem like that, well, or people that accurately depicted Stadia as the best performing cloud platform at its launch. And it was so unanimously when people were seriously discussing the platform, it was the best performing for a while. And then GFN came out with its 3080 tier. And then now there's a debate about what's overall the best platform, what's the most convenient, consistent, and all that other stuff, right? But for a while, it was, without a shadow of a doubt, in serious discussion, Stadia. And Stadia has a lot of promise. Just need the support. Just need people supporting it. Like when what's the name came out and said, "Oh no, we don't care about the Steam Deck. We're not supporting the Steam Deck for Fortnite." He got boos. But when the same thing was said about Stadia, "Oh no, we understand. And Stadia is, you know, very magical in how it performs. Everybody praised the performance. And it has a lot of potential. It just needs the games, right? Well, the same thing comes with the Steam Deck. And people applaud what it can do, but it's not really robust out of the box. It just needs the games. It doesn't support a lot of games, right? Same thing. But if you read these articles that talk about the Steam Deck, which they say is incomplete, opposed to Stadia, which they said is incomplete, the Steam Deck is incomplete, but I love it because of the possibilities. To where with Stadia is incomplete and it's a failure, and people should sue because everything that they said wasn't available off the box. You see the hypocrisy in the coverage here, and I'm going to embellish on this a lot more as the week goes by. Not to hate on the Steam Deck. If you like it, I love it. I'm talking about the reporting of the two. And I just find it funny that that mainstream media is just glaringly showing their hands and showing their hypocrisy, and likely to no misbenefit on their behalf at all. They're not going to suffer at all for this glaring hypocrisy. And it's a shame, because when it comes to tech across the board, all tech that has promise, that is doing things in a wonderful fashion, should all be praised and should all be supported. But that just shows you the fear and the stranglehold that native gameplay has on the media, and that cascades to you. So if you're listening to this, or you're a frequent listener, I hope you are those of the mind that realize that you cannot rely on the mainstream media to get a full picture of what's going on or what'll benefit you. They're not reliable. And this is just a glaring example. The Steam Deck is incomplete, it's messy, it's buggy, but I love it because of the potential. Stadia. Yeah, it's powerful, but it don't have all the games and it don't have all the features day one that they talked about, like the Steam Deck. However, they should be sued. It's dead on arrival. That's why I tell people to curb your enthusiasm. Cloud gaming is going to get there at one point in time. And it's going to be big. Ubisoft said, yeah, we imagine it being 50% of the market at some time. And then it's going to keep growing and growing from there. But that time isn't today, isn't tomorrow, isn't next week. It's going to be years from now. And this proves to you why that's the case. It shows you how that's possible. Stadia on the go can give me 4K 60 as long as my portable device can handle it. I'm playing at 1440p 60 via my Pixel phone on Stadia. I get great output via Stadia on my phone over 4G. What's the Steam Deck do? I think it does 720p undocked, and then the whole docking thing isn't here yet. I can play on any screen on TV. Well, I can play just about on any. I can play on the TV out of the box with Stadia and on my phone. But that's the stranglehold that dedicated device play has on the mainstream media right now. They don't even realize the hypocrisy that is in front of them. And we got to curb on enthusiasm. Yes, cloud gaming is growing. It's going to be a significant portion of the market, just not right now. So when we sit here and we expect any of these cloud platforms, including Stadia, to do exactly what a dedicated device is doing, where the demand for it market-wise really outshines any cloud platform. You're not looking at the analysis that these cloud platform holders are looking at. That's why they're taking baby steps with this, because if you blow too much money, it's not going to make a significant movement on the needle. Okay, but I just thought that was interesting. Lastly, before we get into the channel changes, I want to talk about this. This is John Scar brought it up. Shout out to John Scar. For those of you that missed the show last night, we'll definitely go check out Stadium Connect North. Great show as always every week on Fridays on John Scar's channel. But in case you missed it, I had a very great exchange with Gamer TV. He's somebody within the social media realms in the cloud community. And we were talking about our experience with Stadia on the LG C1. The LG C1 is a fantastic monitor, TV panel, whatever the hell you want to call it. But here's the thing. Out of the box, if you're using the LG C1 as a monitor, a computer monitor, out of the box, Stadia is not going to look good on there. And it was something that I was very frustrated with, because even though I got this thing on sale, I was disappointed and dismayed that my favorite way to play just wasn't looking good on here. You know what I mean? And I was trying everything that I knew about at the time, and it just wasn't working. So then I ran across Gamer TV's post, and I was looking into what he was saying. And so then it inspired me, like live during the post, it inspired me to go and check out maybe some more videos on it. And I came across this one video where they had suggested, turn off the tone mapping. The tone mapping, if you're using this as a PC monitor, can be more detrimental than good. And when I turned off the tone mapping, boom, like it fixed the majority of the problem. Some other tweaking and stuff that I had to do, but it fixed the majority of the blurriness that was going on. I told Gamer TV about it. He was still experimenting with it. Hopefully he found a way. But again, very good thread. He educated me on some things in regards to the panel. So it's a very good thread. So I recommend that everybody checks it out. All right. So that's it for the actual news for today. Let's do this. Because, again, we're trying to be good here. We're trying to be good stewards. And we're going to now talk about changes to the channel. Okay. So, as I said in the prologue, my wife went ill. She went ill June of last year. And since she went ill, she's been going through various rehab and stuff like that. And we thought we were on a good path. We thought she was making progress. And then, hold on, I'm sorry, 1 second. Channel, I can't spell. Channel changes. I need a producer to do this stuff while I'm talking live on air. We thought we had made progress, and about a few weeks ago, we had to take her back to the hospital. Thought it was COVID at first, but it wasn't COVID. It was a momentary setback. So she had to be in the hospital for a while. Had to be rehabilitated. And now she's coming home this week. And what that did is, we off and on since the issues began in June, a lot of things have been happening. We had the issues in June where she had to go through rehabilitation. But in the middle of all that, we bought a new house. So we had to relocate. Some other family things have happened. Me trying to get acclimated here and reproduce the studio and all that stuff. And a bunch of other things. A lot of time consuming things to where it affected my schedule. And because of that, we really haven't been able to get our buoyancy back as far as creating content, sticking to our schedule, stuff like that. But hopefully, when she comes home, we're going to monitor some things, but we're going to have some regular content that is going to be coming to the channel. And we're gonna reclaim that consistency, right? So I want to talk about some changes to the channel that are coming, some on my behalf and some on other contributors' behalf, that in the long run I think will systemically help, even during this rehabilitation phase with my wife. It'll help provide backup, so you guys don't have to go through these long periods where I'm, MIA, so content is MIA. All right. So SLS featured MM2K at the turn of the year. SLS featured MM2K. What we did is we would air it live, and then after we aired it live, we would close shop on the public viewing and just make it available for the subscribers. For the members, right? And the reason why, the big motivation for that was at the turn of the year, we saw a discourse that we thought was going in the wrong direction as it related to the community, and we didn't want to fuel it. I say a lot of things that are sharp and to the point, but are pivoting off of facts. They may contradict what somebody else says. Somebody else may take it to offense, and then it just starts this back and forth to where normally, look, I've been groomed in the process of debate when it comes to this stuff. It's nothing to me. Go look at the old broadband bully content that I did. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of people where you may have been trolled by a slew of people. I would do shows where those same slew of people would go back and forth with me, and I'm just pap, 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 pap. You know what I'm saying? So it's nothing to me to go back and forth. But that's not what I came here for. That's console war stuff over there. And it can be fun and funny and, to mess with people as long as they're in the spirit of what's going on as well. Over here, not so much. Over here, we're trying to spread the news of Stadia and hopefully enlighten people that want to try out the platform. The problem is that there's a lot of opinions out there. Some of them are, pivoting off of facts. Others are more whimsical, and I'm not here to judge anybody and what they say or the content they produce. But when I go and give my points, I don't give my points based upon, oh my gosh, I think I heard someone over here say something completely different from what I've said, and they might take offense to my point of view, so I'm not going to give my point of view. No. I don't make the comments that I make based off other people's comments. I mean, a sole person's comments. I may look at a growing sentiment and I'm like, hold on, let's pump the brakes on this, and let's flesh this out and let's look at this thoroughly. But I don't sit there and go fishing for with Joe Blow or Jane Doe said this, so now I gotta turn on the mic and go live. So, but regardless of that, and I get it, this is new for a lot of people. That's how it was taken. We were being cast in the middle of certain things. So we looked at our member community and said the member community is very responsible in listening to what we're saying, and dealing with it appropriately. So we said we're going to make it live for everybody, but so it's not floating in the air and used as ammo for people that want to engage in this social media war and go back and forth over Stadia. We're going to lock it to our members when it's in VOD format, right? Well, we're going to end that. SLS featuring MM2K is going to be 100% public from going live and going into VOD. But you may say to yourself, well, MM2K, are you still concerned about you sounding off about a certain subject matter and it getting misconstrued and stuff like that? And I'll say I'm not concerned. I'm keeping an eye on it because we can no longer afford to have our efforts dragged into that trivial stuff. Like there's bigger fish to fry. People interested in the platform, people that want to legitimately discuss the growth of the platform and stuff like that. And we're fully engaged in that, and we have no appetite for the whimsical back and forth. So to help also to continue to ensure that when I sound off, that's not misused, but you guys still get your open mic sessions on top of SLS featured MM2K going back in the public view. We are now creating a new show called Sound Off. That's why I kept using the term Sound Off. And with the new show Sound Off, here's how it's going to work. Normally when I do my SLS featured MM2K, I ramble a lot. I may go on for 20 minutes, 30 minutes here. Then I'll finally go check out the chat. Another 20, 30 minutes here, and then I'll go check out the chat. And this and that. And then that's why they become almost 4. We had a 4-hour session this year, right? And people have poked fun at me about it, but I think they've enjoyed my rantings and my ramblings and stuff like that because, again, we're fleshing out facts. But at the same time, it's robbing those that want an opportunity for them to share their questions and get their questions read and put out on the platform. So all that all that thought process and all those talking points, or wherever you want to call them, that I have throughout normally the SLS featuring MM2K, those are going to be on sound off. When we do the SLS, the Stadia Live session featuring MM2K, it's going to be a little bit similar to what I did earlier. This was a practice run. That's why I did it, where I just talk about the news, just tell you what's going on, and then I stop. We're fine tuning that because I didn't do that quite well this session, but and then I stop and I let you ask questions. Now I'll embellish on those questions, but we're going to streamline this and we're going to fine tune this to where it's hey, this is what happened. What are your thoughts? You tell your thoughts. I'll embellish on those. If you want the full nooks and cranny of the news before we do these live sessions, you got to be a member and you got to hear Sound Off. Okay. So Sound Off is now the new member content. And the way that it's going to work is I'm going to do Sound Off first. I'm going to get all that crap off my chest. And then immediately thereafter, we're going to go public and I'm going to do an open mic session. And the open mic session will be available for the public. So that's going to start this upcoming week. And normally we do an SLS featuring MM2K on Tuesdays. So we're going to be back to regular content on Tuesdays. That's the first piece of content we're going to do. We're going to do our Sound Off. I'm probably going to do Sound Off like around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, because I can ramble for a while. And then that'll take us to 1 o'clock. And then 1 p.m. Well, you know what? No. I think I might do this a little different because I keep forgetting that that rock show is around that time. I'm gonna do. We'll figure something out. I'm gonna do Sound Off first, and then after I do Sound Off, then we're gonna get into the Stadia Live session with MM2K. All right. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Next. SSC podcast is changing. How is that changing? We're going to a new night and time. I really didn't want to go from Wednesdays. I love Wednesdays at 5, but due to my wife's rehab, Wednesdays are no longer going to be an open day for me. You might get a video from me in the morning on Wednesdays, but I'm not going to be able to do I'm not going to be able to do a podcast in the afternoons and then for the panel to be involved, it has to be in the afternoons. So now SSC podcast will be on Thursday nights at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Thursday nights, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I got good news and I got bad news because of it. I'm going to start with the bad news first. The bad news is that really, regardless of if SSC stayed at Wednesday or moved to Thursday, our homie Smog Jr., he got a new work schedule and he's not going to be available Wednesdays or Thursdays. So for the time being, Smog Jr., he may be in the chat, but he won't be on the panel for SSC podcast. And we're going to miss him on SSC podcast because the brother really tore up the floor. The whole panel was fantastic, but Smog Jr. really came out of his shell on SSC podcast, and along with the other panel members, he really helped to make the show just a lightning rod of entertainment, right? But don't fret, my friends, because Daryl's new work schedule opens him up on Fridays. And here's what's going to happen. Because it opens them up on Fridays, Daryl Smock is now co-hosting Saturday Night Checkup with your boy MM2K. What is Saturday Night Checkup, you might ask? Saturday Night Checkup is the show that's pre-recorded with our members. And our members can call in and make live phone calls and ask questions, and they can interact with the panel as we go over certain Stadia news. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit more, it's a more interactive, more intimate show with our members. Then what happens is the members get access to that live on Friday, and on Saturday we air it at 11 a.m. Eastern, right? So you definitely don't want to miss that, because that's going to be a hell of a show now to be airing with Daryl Smock starting this Friday. And we'll come up with the times of the airings, the live airing, but the recorded airing, the premieres are going to be every Saturday, 11 a.m. for the public on StadiaDosage. But if you want to participate, ask questions, all that stuff. Another thing that's happening too is I can't say exactly when, but for those that want to call in, they've always said, you know what, it's not easy to call in and all this other stuff. Well, now we're going to be changing that. We're going to be changing that. Well, I don't want to say now. We're soon going to be changing that. We're going to be changing that to where we're getting a 1-800 number, and we're going to be adding Discord integration. Okay. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to want to come and chat with me and Daryl. It's going to be hellified entertaining. You can't beat it with a stick. So again, Daryl Smock is moving from SSC Podcast, and he's going to be co-hosting Saturday Night Checkup with me. It'll be airing every Friday, and it'll be available to the public on Saturday. I think Smock and I decided that we were going to do it 11 a.m. Eastern because my wife's rehab is on Friday as well, and I think we decided, so the live airings are going to be 11 a.m. Eastern, and the what's it called will be at 11 a.m. Eastern the following day. So it's actually 24 hours from each other. Last couple of exciting news. A new show is coming in the next few months. There's going to be more content coming to StadiaDosage. We're already in the preliminary talks about it. I can't say nothing else. It's going to be a great show. I think you guys are going to love it. It's going to be content, and it's not content for me. But you're going to love, these are going to be familiar people, or at least one of them is going to be a familiar person. You're going to love this. You're going to love the content. They already create great content that people enjoy on a routine basis. And I definitely think you're going to enjoy this as well. So stay tuned for that. New content is coming in the next few months. And last but certainly not least, a new PNTS project is coming by the summer. This project is going to be big. This project is going to be transformative in a lot of ways. So stay tuned for that. I can't. We're just, again, we're in the preliminary talks about that. We know it's going to happen. We know these two things are going to happen, but we're in the preliminary talks as far as talking about everybody that's going to be involved in a new show, involved in this new project. But it's going to happen. We you know what I'm saying? A lot of last year was a lot of us talking, and you know what I'm saying? We had limited hands in making things move. This year, it's a lot different. We got a lot of hands on deck, a lot of people helping to do some stuff behind the scenes. This is what we need. We're going to be making some serious progress, and I can't wait till you guys see these new shows and this new project. All right. So that's it from your boy. I hope you guys all appreciate this, because I appreciate you. And until next time, you all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.